Lebanon as a state entity all but collapsed some time ago. It's not official yet, and no one seems ready to declare it a failed state, but the government institutions are broken and non-functional. Lebanon has never faced a collapse of this magnitude, not even during its civil war. The country's years of economic and cultural decline closely mirror the rise of Iranian influence. In the 1950s and 60s, Lebanon enjoyed golden years marked by Western affiliation and adherence to the 1949 armistice with Israel. However, after the Six-Day War in 1967, Lebanon became entangled in decades of proxy conflicts involving Palestinian, Syrian, and Iranian-backed forces against Israel. Once known as the Switzerland of the East, Lebanon is now part of the axis of resistance aligned with Iran. Hezbollah, which began as a ragtag militia to resist the Israeli invasion, has grown into Lebanon's dominant social, political, and military force, effectively becoming a state within a state. In this video, we'll uncover how Hezbollah, with the backing of Iran, systematically hijacked the Lebanese state. Beyond its paramilitary role, Hezbollah has established a highly organized network of health and social service organizations that primarily benefit Lebanon's Shia population. This network comprises the Social Unit, the Education Unit, and the Islamic Health Unit, collectively forming an elaborate system that serves as a vital lever of power for Hezbollah. Many of these service organizations are legally registered as NGOs with the Lebanese government, providing them with legal protections and facilitating collaboration with entities that might otherwise be wary of the Hezbollah name. The Social Unit acts as an umbrella for four organizations: the Jihad Construction Foundation, Jihad el-Bina, the Martyrs Foundation, the Foundation for the Wounded, and the Khomeini Support Committee. Jihad el-Bina has become one of Lebanon's most important NGOs, responsible for infrastructure construction. Following the Israeli bombardment in the summer of 2006, it became indispensable in assessing damage and compensating residents for reconstruction. Meanwhile, Hezbollah's Martyrs Foundation provides financial assistance, healthcare, and social support to families of martyrs killed in combat, while the Foundation for the Wounded aids civilians injured during Israeli assaults. These services foster trust among Hezbollah members and the broader Shiite community, reinforcing the belief that Hezbollah will meet their needs during conflicts. The Islamic Health Unit plays a crucial role in public health by providing low-cost or free healthcare to low-income Shiites and other disadvantaged populations. It offers initiatives like free health insurance and prescription drug coverage through a network of local pharmacies. Addressing the shortcomings of Lebanon's public education system, Hezbollah's Education Unit operates primary and secondary schools at fees significantly lower than most private institutions, serving thousands of students. It also provides scholarships, financial assistance, discounted books, and lending libraries, positioning Hezbollah at the center of daily life for many families. As the Lebanese lira plummeted and the banking system collapsed in March 2021, not only low-income Shiite households, but also secular and non-Shiite segments of the population turned to Hezbollah for financial support. When traditional banks froze dollar accounts, Hezbollah stepped in, supplying hard currency through its parallel banking system, the Al-Qard Al-Hassan Association, or AQAH. AQAH, meaning benevolent loan, operates as a charity but functions effectively as a banking system. Subordinate to Hezbollah's Executive Council and sanctioned by the US Treasury since 2006, it has become the country's largest microcredit provider, offering loans and community funds in accordance with Islamic law, which forbids charging interest. Hezbollah relies on AQAH to pay its soldiers and officials and to provide banking services to local communities. Amid the political and economic turmoil that has plagued Lebanon, the Al-Qard Al-Hassan Association has expanded its operations, becoming one of the country's largest financial institutions, with deposits estimated in the billions of dollars, according to Western officials. What sets AQAH apart from other Lebanese banks is that it operates without regulation and does not possess a banking license. Perhaps the most significant distinction is that, as a non-profit organization under Lebanese law, the Al-Qard Al-Hassan Association is exempt from paying taxes. By offering loans to the poor, hospitals for the sick and schools for the young, services the Lebanese state has largely failed to provide, Hezbollah has secured a loyal support base among Lebanon's Shiites, who make up 30% of the population, while gaining a level of authority and acceptance uncommon for most terrorist organizations. This legitimacy is further reinforced by Hezbollah's rise as a major political party, actively participating in elections and shaping the country's political landscape. Initially antagonistic to the state, Hezbollah shifted its approach in the 1990s, participating in elections after the Lebanese civil war and eventually securing ministerial posts. Today, Hezbollah is a major political force in Lebanon, holding numerous positions in municipal governments and parliament. The party commands a sizable parliamentary bloc, consisting primarily of Shiite Muslims and some Christians, making Hezbollah a key player in shaping Lebanon's political landscape. Additionally, in Lebanon, each religious sect holds veto power over national policies. Thus, Hezbollah wields significant influence as one of the holders of the Shia veto. Beyond its national presence, Hezbollah also controls 60% of the municipalities in southern Lebanon and holds key positions in Beirut's southern suburbs. This strong local and national presence makes it difficult for international donors and government entities to bypass Hezbollah in any significant dealings. Hezbollah's formal positions at ministerial, parliamentary, and municipal levels give it substantial power to influence the Lebanese state. By securing government seats, Hezbollah gains access to state resources and can direct activities to align with its interests, especially through control over strategic ministries. For instance, control over the Ministry of Agriculture has been critical. Reports suggest Hezbollah increased its use of ammonium nitrate, typically used in fertilizers, for manufacturing explosives when access to military-grade materials became difficult. The ministry, under Hezbollah-appointed Minister Hussein al-Hajj Hassan, allegedly facilitated the purchase of fertilizer from Syria, with shipments sold to Hezbollah agents. Similarly, control over the Ministry of Public Health has provided significant financial and strategic benefits. Hezbollah profits from both legal and illicit pharmaceutical trade, a key revenue source. Under Minister Hamad Hassan in 2021, the ministry granted a license to New Al Pharma, owned by Abdel Latif Fanaish, the brother of a senior Hezbollah official, to import vaccines into Lebanon. Other private companies affiliated with political parties also received licenses, turning vaccines into tools of political patronage and profiteering. Hezbollah has used its influence in the health ministry to coordinate with pharmacies in South Lebanon, the Bekaa Valley, and Beirut's southern suburbs, ensuring that its members receive medications at reduced prices, thereby bolstering support within its Shiite base. Control over the health ministry also grants Hezbollah access to medical supplies and hospitals, vital for treating its fighters injured in the Syrian civil war or in skirmishes with Israel. Thus, government departments have been successfully infiltrated and corrupted, diverting their efforts from benefiting the people of Lebanon to solely advancing the interests of Hezbollah. Hezbollah also capitalizes on Lebanon's lack of transparency and the absence of a formal process for awarding public tenders and contracts, making corruption rampant and allowing the group to profit significantly. This flawed system enables Hezbollah to secure business partnerships and win public contracts, turning state resources into a crucial revenue stream. Increasingly, Hezbollah has relied on informal partnerships with Christian business figures and government officials to conduct its financial activities in ways that circumvent international sanctions. One such figure, former Minister of Transport and Public Works Yusuf Finyanis, was sanctioned by the US in September 2020 for directing political and economic favors to Hezbollah. This included ensuring that Hezbollah-owned companies won government contracts worth millions of dollars and diverting funds from government ministries to Hezbollah-linked institutions. Additionally, the U.S. Treasury sanctioned two Hezbollah-affiliated engineering and construction companies, Arch Consulting and Myanmar Construction, for benefiting the group. These companies were accused of being owned, controlled, or directed by Hezbollah, operating under the party's executive council. Arch Consulting, founded in 2005 as a private company by Jihad al-Binar, was involved in building hospitals, schools, infrastructure, and water projects, both in Lebanon and abroad. According to the U.S. Treasury, both Arch Consulting and Myanmar Construction secured public contracts worth millions from the Lebanese state, particularly through Hezbollah-controlled municipalities in southern Lebanon, the Bekoaya Valley, and Hermel. Funds from these contracts were then funneled back to Hezbollah's executive council, bolstering its financial strength. Political influence and business partnerships, however, pale in comparison to the immense power Hezbollah has gained through its control of Lebanon's land border with Syria and the port of Beirut. Hezbollah's de facto control over the international border between Lebanon and Syria places it in an unusually powerful position for a non-state actor. This control is deeply intertwined with the weakness of the Lebanese state and pervasive corruption within the country. Since the Syrian military occupation of Lebanon, which began in 1976 during the early stages of the Lebanese civil war and ended in 2005, Lebanon and Syria have maintained a special relationship that has rendered their shared border highly porous. This porousness has been exacerbated by weak state oversight, corruption within the customs administration and other state institutions, and vested interests among the country's elites involved in both licit and illicit trade, resulting in the Lebanese-Syrian border being managed largely in name only. Hezbollah utilizes Syrian territory to train and deploy fighters, as well as serving as a conduit for weapons flowing from Iran, and engages in smuggling drugs, goods, and arms in both directions. Its involvement in the Syrian conflict has intensified its cross-border activities, leading to its current authority over the entire border. Additionally, Hezbollah generates substantial revenue by smuggling state-subsidized goods, such as wheat and fuel, into Syria, effectively channeling taxpayer money into its own coffers. Hezbollah not only profits from this price difference, but also evades all tariffs and taxes, maximizing its financial gains. Hezbollah uses smuggling not just for revenue, but as political currency to strengthen alliances. After aligning with Hezbollah, the Free Patriotic Movement expanded its presence, especially in Christian areas, by opening businesses such as grocery stores, bakeries, and electronics shops. These businesses offered lower-priced goods, supplied through Hezbollah's smuggling routes, creating jobs and boosting FPM's local support. In this way, Hezbollah used its grip on the border to turn smuggling into a powerful tool for securing political loyalty and influence. On August 4, 2020, a massive explosion at the port of Beirut devastated the port and surrounding residential areas, killing and injuring hundreds of people. The blast, caused by large quantities of ammonium nitrate mixed with other chemicals, intensified both domestic and international scrutiny of Hezbollah's involvement in the port and its role in the Syrian civil war, supporting Bashar al-Assad's regime. Hezbollah has a well-documented history of using ammonium nitrate to manufacture explosives. This chemical is also a key component in the barrel bombs deployed by the Assad regime during the Syrian civil war. Like other political elites in Lebanon, Hezbollah benefits from pervasive corruption within state entities connected to the port of Beirut. This corruption enables them to generate revenue and facilitate the import and export of illicit goods. However, Hezbollah stands apart from its rivals in the extent of its use of the port to transport drugs, weapons, and explosive materials both into and out of Lebanon without any state oversight or inspections of the hangars it utilizes. In 2020, Al Arab reported that due to corruption, the Lebanese state receives only $800 million in customs fees annually from the port, instead of the estimated $3 billion it should legitimately earn. The missing revenue is an important stream of income for not just Hezbollah and its allies, but all the political elite in Lebanon who benefit from corruption. In 2019, the US Treasury sanctioned Hezbollah official Wafik Safa, accusing him of exploiting Lebanon's ports and border crossings to smuggle illegal goods, including weapons and drugs, on behalf of Hezbollah. Safa reportedly used his position to bypass inspections and avoid scrutiny of shipments. Most non-state actors are forced to navigate intricate smuggling networks and evade state authorities to secure weaponry. However, Hezbollah's control over Lebanon's land border with Syria and the port of Beirut has granted Iran a direct and steady channel to supply advanced weapons and missiles. This unrestricted flow of arms has enabled Hezbollah to become the world's most heavily armed non-state actor. Beyond military support, Hezbollah also reaps significant financial gains through illicit trade and pervasive corruption, further entrenching its power and influence. Hezbollah has deeply infiltrated Lebanon's state institutions, particularly the security apparatus. It has extended its influence into the General Security Directorate, responsible for collecting intelligence, issuing passports, regulating the entry of foreigners, and contributing to national security. Traditionally, the position of Director General was assigned to a Maronite Christian, but Hezbollah successfully lobbied for it to be given to a Shia. From July 2011 until March 2023, General Abbas Ibrahim held this post, effectively placing general security under Hezbollah's control. This role was crucial for Hezbollah, allowing the group to falsify identity documents for international travel and gain valuable intelligence, including counterintelligence to protect against infiltration by Israeli spies. In addition to its control over security, Hezbollah's presence within the civil service serves as another source of revenue. Director generals of ministries have access to funds that can be utilized without ministerial approval, allowing Hezbollah to secure resources regardless of political leadership. Parties in government, including Hezbollah, often channel these funds to affiliated NGOs, some of which are questionable. For instance, the Ministry of Social Affairs supports the Al-Mubarak Charity Association, which fell under Hezbollah's control after the death of its founder. Its assets have been frozen in Lebanese banks since 2016 due to US sanctions. Thus, by corrupting the public sector with affiliates and agents, Hezbollah has diverted funds and policies away from Lebanon's national interests, steering them toward its own goals, often influenced by Iran. Slowly but surely, Hezbollah has built a formidable militia, taken control of Lebanon's borders and political institutions, and established a parallel state that now overshadows the official government. Today it is Hezbollah, not Lebanon, that decides the crucial questions of war and peace for the nation's citizens. But what role has Iran played in all this? Hezbollah's metamorphosis from a modest militia to Lebanon's preeminent social and political force was like a serpent carefully nurtured in the bosom of Tehran's ayatollahs. With unwavering economic support and a steady supply of advanced weaponry, Iran has cultivated Hezbollah into a potent instrument of its influence across the region. Now, Lebanon's course is steered not by its own interests, but by the strategic aims of Iran's foreign policy, most notably its relentless pressure on Israel. In the end, it is the Lebanese citizens who bear the true cost of this transformation, as their nation's future slips further from their grasp. I have been your host, Albert. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Until next time.